You might want to save money to help you in times of need, or maybe you have specific goals like starting a business, paying for a university course, or even buying your own house. But as soon as you start saving, challenges pop up. That expensive phone you've always wanted goes on promotion, or the pricey clothing you've been eyeing finally goes on sale. Or maybe there's another deal that tempts you to spend the money you intended to save. In situations like this, 99% of people fail to stick to their savings plan. They end up spending the money on things they didn't even plan for. If that sounds familiar to you, then this video is like your doctor. But before we get to the solution, we first need to understand exactly where the problem is coming from. The key issue lies in how your brain is wired. Your brain has different parts, and one of them is responsible for forming habits. When you perform an action repeatedly, this part of your brain starts to recognize it as important and turns it into a habit. Soon, it will remind you to do it, even when you weren't planning to. So the problem is that this part of your brain is very much used to spending. Think back to your childhood. When your parents gave you money, did you save it? Most likely you spent it right away on candy, toys, or games. As a result, your brain has built a very strong habit around spending, and it knows nothing about saving. That's why it keeps tempting you to spend, even when you want to save. To break free from this cycle, you need to introduce a new habit, which is saving. But how do you do that? Let me give you a simple analogy. You're used to being awake during the day and sleeping at night because that's what you've done since you were young. Your brain has formed a strong habit around this routine. So every time night falls, you start feeling sleepy because your brain is reminding you it's time to sleep. But let's say you start working as a night guard. At first, staying awake all night and sleeping during the day would be incredibly tough because your brain is used to the opposite. But as you continue working night after night, your brain will start to adjust. You'll find that you start sleeping during the day and staying awake at night with more ease. Over time, staying awake at night will become your new habit. The same applies to saving money. At first, it will be challenging because your brain is wired to spend. But the only way to build a new habit of saving is through practice. Save a little every day, no matter how much it is. The key is consistency. Soon your brain will slowly start to recognize that saving is important to you. Now, don't be discouraged if you slip up and spend money instead of saving it. This happens to everyone. The key is to keep going. Instead of giving up, try again. By doing so, you're reinforcing that new habit. Eventually, saving money will become your second nature, just like staying awake at night became a habit for the night guard. And when saving becomes a habit, every time you get money, you'll instinctively want to save it rather than spend it. In the end, you'll be able to achieve all the goals you've set for yourself.